Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a really unfiltered look at the American trucking industry. And we're drawing our insights from sources, written by the drivers and analysts who are out there right now.
In the thick of it.
Exactly.
No.
And a heads up for everyone listening, the language in this material is pretty candid, it's strong, it reflects a lot of deep frustration.
And that frustration, it seems to stem from this fundamental reversal.
Reversal. How so?
Well, trucking used to be the ultimate symbol of freedom, right? The open road, independence, reliable pay.
The American dream on wheels, almost.
Yeah, you could say that. But what the sources are showing now is this massive systemic shift where that independence has just been eroded.
It's been overtaken.
Overtaken by regulations that feel like they're designed for these huge companies.
Yeah.
And this culture of just relentless micromanagement.
So the sources are really painting a picture of a systemic breakdown, not just, a tough economic cycle.
And that is our mission for this deep dive. We want to unpack the specific factors, what the sources are calling the perfect storm, that created this whole environment.
Okay.
We really need to synthesize all these different viewpoints, just like groups such as Life as a Trucker recommend, and figure out how you, the professional driver, can start to gain back some control.
Build a shield, so to speak.
An economic shield, yeah. And maybe even craft an intentional exit plan, but on your own terms. This is all about actionable knowledge, so your future is a choice, not just a reaction to the market.
Okay, let's unpack this then. If freedom is that central promise that was broken, what's the core thing making the road feel so frustrating right now?
It really starts with an economic reality check.
Yeah.
For years, the whole industry ran on this make more, work more mentality.
Right, just run more miles.
Exactly. But now, sources show that working 70-plus hours a week, you're barely staying even.
Because of inflation and costs.
It's all just been eaten up. Any raises you might have gotten are gone. And the mega fleets, they've managed to absorb these pressures or even, benefit from them, while the smaller guys get crushed.
I saw that theme over and over, this constant compliance burden. Some drivers call it death by 1,000 regulations.
That's a perfect summary of it, really. Whether it's electronic logging devices or maintenance compliance or these proposed speed limiters, all these rules, they fundamentally favor the huge carriers.
Because they have entire departments for this stuff.
They have compliance departments, they have legal teams.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the small fleet owner, the independent guy, they're drowning in paperwork just to do the basic job of moving freight.
And that micromanagement piece feels so invasive. The sources talk about being tracked constantly.
Surveilled, almost.
Yeah, with dispatchers pinging them the second they pull over for a required rest break. They actually call it like prison with wheels.
It just strips the job of its professional dignity. But, that constant surveillance, it feeds directly into the #1 financial squeeze for drivers.
Detention time.
Detention time.
The classic example of stolen time. You're sitting at a dock, waiting for 6 hours, and you only get paid for 2. The sources call this robbery with paperwork.
And if you look at the core issue there, it's all about power dynamics. Shippers know the driver's on a clock, they face penalties. So they essentially hold the driver hostage.
And if you push back?
If you push back, you're immediately labeled difficult. And that can affect the loads you get in the future.
So they call it robbery with paperwork. But how does a shipper actually get away with this? Why haven't the big carriers or the regulators fixed what seems like this massive vulnerability?
Well, it persists because the cost of that detention is mostly felt by the driver's time, not the shipper's bottom line. At least not yet.
So there's no incentive for them to change?
Not a strong enough one. And while the big carriers complain, they can often absorb the loss or just push that cost back onto the driver in the contract. The whole regulatory system is just too slow to mandate fair pay or impose fines that are big enough to change behavior overnight.
And this financial insecurity from detention and costs is being fed by another problem, right? The driver pipeline itself. We're seeing all these references to CDL mills.
Yeah, these are basically low-quality, fast-track schools that are just pumping out huge numbers of new drivers who are, they're completely unprepared.
They've been sold a false promise.
A false promise of easy, high pay, and the result, they burn out, they quit, usually within the first year, which just keeps this endless churn going and holds wages down for everyone.
And all this pain, this churn, it's leading us towards what the analysts are calling the Great Trucking Reset.
That's right.
So let's define that. What makes this a reset and not just another downturn?
The numbers are just staggering. Sources are predicting up to 750,000 CDL seats will open up over the next few years.
750,000. Wow.
It's huge, and it's driven by a few things. First, what they call the gray wave. You've got this massive number of experienced drivers, average age is 55, who are heading into retirement.
Okay.
Then you add in the people leaving because of the economy and all that burnout from the new drivers we just talked about.
So on one hand, 750,000 openings sounds like a golden opportunity. But the sources suggest the rules for getting those seats are changing.
They're changing radically. The industry is getting really selective. Carriers are using, sophisticated AI to screen candidates. And critically, they're relying more and more on lower-cost visa drivers.
So the competition is changing.
It is. The blunt reality from these sources is that unless you meet these new high standards, carriers are increasingly just skipping over domestic drivers for cheaper alternatives.
Which brings us right back to regulations. We know HOS rules and ELDs are a source of, major daily frustration.
That feeling of constant restriction.
Right. But this is where we have to look at it from all angles, like the sources say. Violating those exact same regulations. HOS, maintenance, cargo, those are the top causes of accidents and career loss.
Such a powerful point. The ELD and HOS rules, restrictive as they feel, they exist to create a safety floor.
To protect the driver.
To protect the driver from dispatcher pressure or even from their own ambition to push past safe limits. I mean, driving while exhausted is still a leading cause of fatal accidents. Protecting your CDL is protecting your entire future.
And it's not just the hours. Equipment maintenance is a big one. We're talking bad brakes, bald tires, what the sources call rolling time bombs.
They're existential threats. Brake violations are, year after year, the #1 reason trucks get put out of service during a DOT inspection. This isn't just some annoying rule. It's about professional conduct.
This whole tech shift, though, it introduces a major paradox. We started out talking about how ELDs and tracking are part of the pain. But now sources are saying that same technology is actually the driver's greatest new weapon.
Especially against detention time abuse.
Right.
And what's so fascinating is how the data completely shifts the negotiating table. Before ELDs, it was your word against the shipper's paperwork.
He said, she said?
Totally. The ELD changes all that. It gives you bulletproof proof. It's a digital, undeniable log of when you arrived, when you left. The data just doesn't lie.
So the tech that drivers first saw as a tattletale is now a digital time clock that they control. It's a verifiable receipt for their time.
Precisely. If your claim for detention pay gets ignored, now you have the ammo. You can say, I'll send you the time-stamped log file. And for the good carriers, this data helps them identify the chronic detention offenders among shippers.
Which lets them bill for it.
It lets them bill those accessorial fees properly and stand up for their drivers.
And I do appreciate that the sources offer the counter view here. A lot of drivers are still saying, good luck getting the company to actually pay up.
And that skepticism is valid, for sure. The rates are often still insultingly low.
But the point is leverage.
The core insight is that the technology gives you leverage that you did not have before. And if your carrier is ignoring that documented proof, well, that data exposes their bad business practices. It tells you it's time to find a carrier who will use that data to protect you.
Let's jump ahead a bit to the future of the technology itself. We saw some really fascinating reports on a wireless charging highway.
Oh yeah, the test site in Indiana.
Where they successfully charged a Class 8 electric truck while it was moving.
This is a huge development. I mean, it tackles one of the biggest hurdles for electric trucks, which is all that downtime spent charging.
So the good viewpoint here is pretty clear.
Oh, absolutely. Less time sitting, more time rolling. A huge potential drop in diesel costs. It's the future of efficiency.
But then, immediately, the sources pivot to the ugly viewpoint, specifically for the owner-operator.
Because the problem isn't the tech itself, it's the accessibility.
The price tag.
The price tag, exactly. Most independent drivers can't afford an electric rig right now, let alone whatever special gear you'd need for this.
Yeah.
And the infrastructure just isn't there beyond a tiny test track.
And this leads to a bigger skepticism, right? About control and automation.
It does.
Yeah.
How does this kind of EV tech connect to that fear of more control?
I was going to ask.
Well, the theory goes like this. If the infrastructure requires these proprietary systems, like you can only run on certain specially charged roads, Who controls the routes?
It limits your flexibility.
It could funnel all freight to these designated tracked corridors. And the ultimate fear is that, taxpayers will foot the bill for these expensive roads, but the mega fleets and the tech giants are the ones who reap all the profits.
Leaving the independent driver even further behind.
It marginalizes them even more.
And it all seems to connect back to the financial turbulence happening right now. You have soft freight demand, flat rates. Sources are saying 2025 is really less about growth and more about just pure survival.
Pure economic survival, yeah. The sources warn very explicitly that if your plan is to just run loads and hope for a raise, the odds are completely stacked against you.
And the pressure is coming from both sides.
Both sides. You've got corporate consolidation letting the mega carriers cut pay, and then you have the rising use of imported labor keeping a lid on wages.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? If the deck feels stacked, what's the actual strategy? How do you survive and define your own future in all this?
All the sources, they really point to the same overwhelming piece of advice. You have to shift your mindset
From just a driver
to an entrepreneur, or a freightpreneur as some call it. You have to see these issues from every angle: regulatory, economic, personal, and then build a moat around your career.
So that means mastering the business side of the job.
Absolutely. Not just the driving. The proactive steps start with knowing your numbers, inside and out. Your real cost per mile, your taxes, your insurance. Manage it like a CFO.
And then level up your skills.
Then you level up. Learn dispatching, learn freight brokering, learn how to build a digital presence. The professional driver has to know the office floor just as well as the cab of the truck.
The core solution that keeps coming up is about mitigating risk by diversifying your income. The goal isn't just to survive, it's to create a shield from the ups and downs of freight rates. And that means using your off-duty time wisely.
This is the ultimate form of personal leverage. I mean, you've already proven you have an incredible work ethic, right? You manage complex logistics every single day.
Sure.
Now it's about applying that same drive to things that can make you money online, recurring money, month after month.
And the sources are really specific here. They mention resources like retirefromtrucking.com and offdutymoney.com. They're actually recommending training for truckers on how to use AI and online tools to create these extra income streams.
The whole idea is to transform those mandatory off-duty hours.
Yeah.
That time you spend waiting at a dock or in a sleeper berth,
Yeah.
you turn that into future financial security.
So the same technology that controls your on-duty time can empower your off-duty time.
Exactly. And that ensures your exit from the truck is a choice, something you make when you're financially ready, not a crisis forced on you by burnout or a bad economy or, God forbid, a crash.
So this whole analysis really confirms that 2025 isn't just about surviving a tough market. It's about fundamentally changing the power dynamic.
The dynamic between you, the driver, and the whole ecosystem of carriers and shippers. You're effectively taking back control of your most valuable asset, your time.
At the same time, the ELD helps you document.
Right. And you convert that time off the clock into economic leverage that makes you resilient to all these shifts.
Trucking is changing so fast. Electric rigs, AI, automation, it's all coming. But the message here is you shouldn't just wait for that next wave to roll over you.
You should be riding it.
Ride it by building income and skills beyond the wheel. So what does this all mean for you? It means you protect your CDL like it's your most critical retirement asset, and you transform your off-duty hours into your greatest opportunity.
So if the industry truly is heading for a great trucking reset, and we know 750,000 seats are about to flip because of tech and economics, then you have to ask yourself this question. What specific digital skill, whether it's AI literacy, business finance, content creation, what skill will you master first to make sure that you are the one defining your own future rather than having the market define it for you?